Recently you launched your fourth book.
Yes.
I would like to know from you like how you are feeling and what do you expect from readers to take away from that particular book.
So with every book, when it's launched and it comes out in the market, I'm very anxious, very jittery, because see, it takes about 6 to 7 months to write
True.
a book.
Writing this book, you have shown like different perspectives.
Yeah.
It is little tricky. So
Yeah.
how did you manage that and what doubts were you having when you were writing this book?
So this book is written in an entirely new way, in a very very different format. In most novels, it's like that.
True.
It
Yeah.
is just the characters, the decisions that they are taking. So one is it's very risky to start working with your wife. You fight a lot. The second thing is that it actually helps give the readers an immersive experience. My drawing was just rectangles. This is where the house is. This is where the apiary would be, and this is how the cow shed. This is the horse
Yeah,
stable.
I got it. Which would you choose?
A detective with brilliant flaws.
Why?
They're harder to plant. It's harder to deceive your reader. So it's more challenging. Confession is the easier part, right? It's the more heartbreaking part.
Hello everyone, I'm Tanvi. Welcome to another guest episode of Pages and Beyond podcast show. Today I'm having Siddharth Maheshwari, one of the best-selling authors
Alright.
who has written spy thrillers and murder mystery. Hello Siddharth, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, and Tanvi, thank you so much for having me. So thank you.
Recently you launched your fourth book.
Yes.
I would like to know from you like how you are feeling and what do you expect from readers to take away from that particular book.
So with every book, when it's launched and it comes out in the market, I'm very anxious, very jittery, because see, it takes about 6 to 7 months to write
True.
a book, right? And then I give it to my close circle, people who then they read it, then the publishers read it, their team, we sit, we edit. But once it's out there in the market, then it's like they're in the open world, and how the readers will take it, what their reactions will be, whether they feel it's worth their time and money, and does it land where how we hope. So all of those things then start kicking in.
True.
And so I'm very jittery, very nervous about the fourth book, which is recently out there in the market. I hope people accept it with equal euphoria and equal warmth which they have shown to my previous three
Previous
books.
works.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it.
I myself has read two of his books, like recent murder mysteries itself, and I just love reading those books. So today in this episode, we are going to talk about his all like we will focus on this particular book, Twisted, Tangled, and Trapped, and I'll try to dig in some information or knowledge he put in writing murder mystery. So starting with my first question,
Yeah.
so writing this book, you have shown like different perspectives.
Yeah.
It is little tricky. So
Yeah.
how did you manage that, and what doubts were you having when you were writing this book?
So this book is written in an entirely new way, in a very very different format, right? A Murder in Dehradun was written from the perspective of the author, right? So how the characters are there. It's kind of the author telling you, what's happening, what's going on. In most novels, it's like that, right? Even in my spy thrillers, the concept was the same. In Twisted, Tangled, and Trapped, there is no author's voice.
True.
It is
Yeah.
just the characters, the decisions that they are taking, and they are facing the consequences, and they may be lying. It is the reader is reading or seeing things as they are observing. So here I might be sitting and I might be saying that, oh, but Tanvi is wearing a red dress. So it's just my observation, and it is my maybe I want to put the reader off the hook, or the people in that scenario, in that situation, off the hook. So it was tricky to come up with different perspectives. I had to keep a tab that who has said what, because when you're lying, you have to keep a lot in your mind, right? And when you're trying to do that, because also you can't leave loopholes, you can't leave
Right.
gaps in the storytelling. So a lot of notes, copious notes were taken. So it was a nice tricky situation in which we wrote the in which I wrote the book from various perspectives, from the characters of from various.
I have read A Murder in Dehradun
Yeah.
and Twisted, Tangled, and Trapped. So I felt like there is a like drastic change in writing style as well.
Right.
You have used a lot of metaphors, phrases, and idioms in that book. So
Right.
was that deliberate, or was it like it just happened?
So it just happened in the flow. If the story or the character demands it at that point of time, right? There, if I'm not wrong, there is a scene where a particular character compares himself to the hyena on the savannah plains, right?
Yeah,
And how
right.
it's in the bang in the middle of the food chain, you know.
Yeah.
It's eating the leftovers, and it has the ability to hunt in a pack. So these things were something like to inform the readers that how a person is feeling also.
Yeah, I remember that seagull incident.
Yes,
So
also.
there, one seagull was struggling for life, and the other left it just because save
Yes,
its life.
but that's also how humans also behave, right? There is a lot of backstabbing. I won't spoil that scene for the readers, but yeah, it just happened because you expect the help to be coming,
Yeah,
and you
right.
don't expect that backstabbing to happen at that
To
particular
happen
end.
to that particular person or
Yeah.
at that particular time. And in the end also, where Eka the chief minister at that time,
Yes.
she was comparing like how people are trapped in their life and in
Yes.
their duties and all the
Yes.
things in their mind. So that
Right.
was something that took my attention, and I
Yes.
just love that part.
Right.
Even if I say like what I liked and what I disliked in your book, there is this metaphor thing that
Right.
I truly love,
Yes.
and that was something I was looking forward to while reading this
Right.
book. So I just wanted to give you that compliment about
Thank you so much. So it was not something that happened deliberately. It was my intention has always been to invoke that feeling in you as a reader.
Exactly. So
To
that
con-
happened like
so
very
thank
well.
you so much. Thank you.
Coming to your journey as an author,
Yeah.
would you like to share a remarkable time of your journey? Like how as an author have written 4 books,
Right.
and something that surprised you in a different way?
So I believe that to anybody who's writing out there, right? If your question is directed towards that person, or if any of your readers or listeners would are in the process of writing, then you have to stick it through. Like you have to just be in there, come up with original stories, and you will find the audience. It's a chaotic world out there.
True.
So to grab people's attention. But if your story has it's an original, well written story. If your core is correct, slowly the word of mouth will spread.
spread and your book
Slowly
will reach to the
people
right
will
people.
it will reach the right people. People will realize that it's worth their time and money. One of the best things that happened to me was when a publisher with whom I'd signed a book, and then I took it back. But they told me that people in India don't read more than 50,000 words, and
Okay.
and it was basically for a murder in Dehradun. But then we cancelled that contract. So because they wanted to edit it in a particular way wherein all the characters were flatlining. So I was like, yeah, fine. I mean, thank you for your views, but if you feel that if in India people are not reading more than 50,000 words, there's something wrong, because you as a publishing house are not, you just want to, if you just want to concentrate on your cost, or you just want to feel that, oh, I'm delivering this in just 50,000 words, it's not like that. People are consuming long form content.
Actually-
If it is engaging with them, if it is striking a chord with them, people will go through that novel.
Actually, I feel that will ruin the creativity
Yes.
and the thoughts that author want to deliver,
Yes.
and the exact thing that
Totally.
because it's the author's mind, it's
Exactly.
the author's creativity, and author own this. If you will try to play with it, it can just
But
get hampered.
also, more than that, once you have created the characters, they start taking their own logical journey.
True.
So beyond a point, even it goes even beyond the author's control. After a certain point, once you've created the scenario, once you've created the characters, certain things start happening automatically.
Yeah.
You can't start controlling it. Then you just go. Then even the author is in the flow.
Yeah, I haven't written a murder mystery, but I have written short stories in different
Right.
genres, so I can understand that
Wow.
when I start writing a story,
Yes.
so initially I have something in mind, and then it goes with the flow.
Yeah.
So that is what happens with the long form novel. I understand that.
Right.
From any of other book, reader has given you some remark that you just loved it and you want to share with our audience.
So very recently, yesterday evening, it happened. Some reader, she said that given all the hype around a murder in Dehradun, she was jittery about picking the book up. Also because of the fact that it's written by an Indian author. So finally, she did read it, and she posted a very nice review around it. And she said it in her review that, I was, because so many people were raving about it, and because there was so many people talking about it, I thought that it's just a marketing gimmick, and so I, for the longest time, I did not want to read the book. And then also because it was by an Indian author, but I read it, I found it to be really worth the time and the money that. So that's really heartwarming. It's that's the least that I mean, and for me that's the most thing that I can expect, that when somebody says that it's been really worth my time and money. And if
Lovely.
it if it allows the reader to have a conversation with their friends and family that, oh, I've read this book, that's like really something else. That's amazing.
Having met you multiple times and in
Yes.
different events, I have heard this phrase, worth your time and money.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I feel that confident you hold in saying that statement
Right.
is something I believe you put in your work, and that is how your book is being reached to the right readers.
Right. But see, I believe in keeping things very simple and stupid. It's a very basic concept of life. So if I'm keeping it very, it's just an exchange. My job as an author is to hone my craft, right?
True.
And to improve at my writing. So if my core is good, so I as an author need to work on my writing constantly,
Constantly, right.
to constantly keep improving and to keep coming up with new stories, and new ways of telling something.
Telling something, right.
And that is how basically Twisted, Tangled and Trapped is been a new bold move, doing it from a different angle, different kind of a story. And for the reader, that's what I exactly, if it's landing well, if it's connecting well with them, if they feel that yes, they've got the value of their time and their money, then it's a journey one. It really makes all the difference.
I want to add that part I told you in 156 page. By
Right.
156 page, I was like, no, I was aware who is the murderer.
Right.
And after that, I felt like, will I get something further, because book was 230
Yes.
pages and
Yes.
it's like more around 100 pages, like 70,
Yes.
80 pages. So not giving spoiler, but telling the readers that something that will keep you hooked till the end. How did you manage to maintain that curiosity, and how did you manage, like,
So
readers will stay with the book till
that
the
was
end?
exactly the entire point. It was to take the readers on a journey. It was not so. A lot of people after reading A Murder in Dehradun have told me that, just take the same detective, do it in a different setting, and we'd love to read that. But I was like, I'll be giving you the same product in a different packaging, and it will become boring. But let me try something new. Let me do it in a different way. So it becomes a journey of the characters, and their emotional journey, their mental trauma. And yes, there is a murder, but it goes beyond that. It is so how there is somebody on the run, how that person is surviving on the run, and there is a comical aspect around it also, or certain humorous. And I don't want to give the spoilers, but there
Spoilers,
is
of
there is
course.
yeah, there is something that happens in Tangled, and then there is Trapped. So you know that in the end there will be an attempt to take revenge, because it's a revenge murder mystery. So now whether it falls, whether they are able to take the revenge, and what is the price that one is willing to pay for the revenge. So in the end, I'm actually asking the readers big questions,
True, that happened. That happened very well.
right?
Yeah.
Even with A Murder in Dehradun, my entire idea was that, so in the end, I do write that, for the want of a nail a kingdom is lost. That is it worth it?
Yeah.
Was your greed, after having so much, is it worth
Worth, like, losing
still
everything.
still going after money?
It's like the situation of war. What is the result of the war? Like
Exactly.
destruction. We lose a lot of things. So
Yes.
it's something like that. That kind of a question is coming by murdering, or like out of greed, you are just destroying
Right,
things.
right.
When you said on the run, just reminded me of like, is this book more about human psyche, or just a murder, to find the murderer?
No, it is about human psyche. It is about how humans behave. Because when somebody is so you see every character is, unique in their own way. They all have their own agenda. So somebody is driven by ambition. Somebody has their other thing.
Other agenda.
Another agenda going for them. Someone wants to become an actor. Someone has other things playing for them. There is a chief minister, so there is a power play involved. So you do get the sense that there are different aspects of human beings that I'm trying to tap into, and then I'm inflating that and then giving it to a character, and then that's how the story is developing.
Right. So, what inspired you to choose this glamorous world and inside the shadowy world of cinema?
So, in like how it happened in A Murder in Dehradun, there was one family. It was also about a lot about family dynamics, family bonding, and how people bicker in family, and especially like after the murder happens. But then now they want that how when they everybody gets together and they come up with solutions on how to hold on to the body, like what to do with the
Do
body,
with the body.
right? So
Exactly.
and the entire idea at that time was that their own idea should come up at the top. How it happens in family dynamics and arguments in Indian households. This time I wanted to start with a bang. Like the murder has already happened,
Right.
right? So I'm already taking you to that point where the murder has already happened. There are three confessions. You already know this when you by the time you start the book. That part has already happened. Now I'm taking you on a journey. So then the characters start on flow. So it also like kind of really sucks you into the book, right? Into the scene. It puts you right bang into the middle of action. And oh, the murder has happened. These
And
are the people who have
confessing
yeah
it.
who have confessed, and now what? So yeah.
This line, one murder, three confessions, in itself is a gripping.
Yeah.
So, how did you come about with this? Because I remember the third confession did not came clear. So, how did you come up with that?
So the thing is that the idea was to not write a traditional murder mystery anymore, right? So what happens during a murder? I mean, I wanted to. I started breaking it down, right? And I was like, let's start. What if I start with a murder? What if there are already people who are confessing to a murder? That they have. So it was also like kind of making things difficult for myself. That how would I solve this problem? So I started listing the problems, and then I was like, yeah, this is a nice problem to have. Let's see if we can build a story from here onwards. That there's already a murder that has happened. People are confessing now. Why would you go and confess to a murder? So and so the point was that is just a starting hook, right? The story has much more to give.
Give
It is
right.
it is that is just a starting hook to get your attention. So when you say that the third confession did not land, it was also because if it had landed, it would have become stupid, right? You understand? So the idea was also that not to come up with some stupid excuses. Whatever it starts making sense, then comes the logical part of it.
And then the reason for not
Yeah,
that did not land well. The reason for that was quite humorous and funny.
right, exactly.
So that is what makes it different, as you
Different.
say, like unique.
So I don't want to see. My thing is very clear. I am not here to waste the reader's time,
Exactly.
right? If I as a writer start feeling something that there is a certain amount of logic to what is going to happen. I just for the sake of the story, I don't want to push it. Like I don't want to waste words. I don't want to waste paras and try to extend it or just try to stretch it unnecessarily. If that's the logical reason that this person's gonna if this person has reached here, he or she is going to confess to something, and but they already now have realized that the dynamics maybe have changed, so they have the ability to go back and take back. And that's what probably a logical reader would also expect a logical character to do. So logic, intelligence, I'm basing it that my reader is intelligent. They would not like their time to be wasted.
True.
They don't want to interact with stupid characters.
And until unless the characters are relatable and flawed,
Yeah,
readers won't like them. I
exactly,
believe.
exactly.
So in that scenario, which is that one character with whom you feel empathy, and not with Lipika, you don't have to tell the name of Lipika in that case.
Right.
With whom you feel more sympathy and empathy.
I always like my villains. I love my villains. I love the people who do wrong because it takes a certain amount of willpower to want to do it. Their characteristics. It's that snapping point. It's everything. So and also the more powerful your villain is and the more logical your journey is, the hero becomes even more powerful and their journey becomes even more like kind of logical and it starts making sense to the people, so it lands well. So that's why I'm always rooting for the villain, trying to make things more difficult for.
Murderer is one villain, but there are other darker shades of your characters.
Yeah.
So which one? Like you can just tell the name of that character to whom you feel like that is one character you believe like I think reader would want more of that according to you.
See, I think where a person is in their life, right? What they are themselves going through, that they take something from that book according to that,
That yeah.
right? So I mean, some people would associate with Nikhil, feeling for him that. Uh, Maybe if it doesn't have to be that you're wanting to be an actor, or it could be any profession.
It's like aspiration and
Yeah,
passion will meet with
exactly,
him.
exactly. And plus, so there is a certain amount of, so tomorrow say maybe that your parents are doctors and you are trying to become one, so you already have that, maybe, and if you're following the same line as your parents, so then you have the clientele probably ready, but then there is a certain amount of expectation from the parents, and then so this happens in every field. This nepotism debate is in every field.
Everything,
And
right?
then they have, so like how his father wanted him to not do into so much into dramatics, and not show his talent to the world. That's an argument that is there in the book, that it's everything is shown from different perspectives. And he says that I've grown up on the sets and I've always done everything, I've never got credit for anything. I know the how everything works, right? So now I feel that I deserve to be here. Or maybe how Eka says that to be part of the system, to help people, I also need to grease the lines of,
right.
and so that I remain in power. So there are multiple arguments and multiple sides of everything that has been going on. So people might associate with Eka also. They might associate. I would love to see who associates with.
Whom?
Yeah.
So it's like
I wanted to name one character. I did not. It would be
yeah,
a
it will
spoiler.
be a spoiler.
Yeah.
If I talk about in my case, I connected with like one is Nikhil,
Yeah.
and the other person is I think Jatin maybe.
Right.
So basically, in that case, Jatin's character, he was like most mistreated person who was at the end. He was just blackmailed, and he was unaware
Right.
who was blackmailing him.
Right.
I hope this is not sending any
Yeah.
specific
Not
spoilers.
big spoilers, but yeah.
So that is those two characters I felt a lot, because I believe like Rajat's point of view, father of Nikhil's point of view is not there. So what do you think? Why exactly he did not want his son to be as in a lead role in his next big film?
No, that's there. That's there in the
No, no.
book.
Like
It's
there is one thing that is mentioned, like he feel like he's not ready and something like
right.
that.
Yeah.
But I believe there might be something of protective father, because he know the
Yeah. So
reality of
see,
that world.
the thing is that if you land a big project and it doesn't go well, there's
Hmm.
also, so as it's pointed out, that if a big film fails, there is, which is actually true,
Hmm.
that there is a lot of other economies which are associated with it,
True.
right? And then the distributor starts losing money, you lose street credit, now nobody wants to sign you up for another one. So you have all of that load on. Then there are technicians and spot boys and everybody else who starts losing money because they are not paid. So that's a different economy altogether. So probably what I wanted to showcase here was that he does not want to burden his son
Son
with
that,
that
that
kind of
loss.
a, with that responsibility. But then there are people who have done it and they've come out very well. The biggest example was Hrithik Roshan. Like, I mean, his first movie was a big hit.
Hmm.
But keeping that aside, this was what the thought was. I don't want to burden him, and I don't want to. So let me get
Yeah, that's
somebody
it.
else, and then let the people get used to seeing his face. It was just that.
Yeah, he wanted to make him like second
Yeah.
person. Reading through your books, I
Yeah.
have noticed one thing.
Yeah.
Your titles, like book titles,
Right.
not book titles, chapter titles, they
titles.
are associated with rhyme, rhythm, and music.
Yeah.
So how do you plan that? Like in this book, it was like in nursery rhymes, I guess.
Yeah.
And in this, it was songs, English songs.
Yeah.
So how did you come about with
So all my books have very unique chapter titles. It started with Lynchpin,
Okay.
and we kept it in Veil of Shadows also. Then A Murder in Dehradun and Twisted Tangle. So we come up with different themes every time, and we try to see that. So the idea of giving a chapter title is always that I'm hinting towards what is going to come in the chapter, Also, I'm playing with the reader's mind. So I want you to think in a particular way. Then let's see if exactly that thing happened, or I'm just messing with your head, kind of a thing. Also a little bit. So that's there. But chapter titles is one of the most difficult things that I have to crack every time I'm writing the book, because you've read your own draft so many times and then you get that tunnel vision. You know what's going to happen. So you have to come up with a title which makes sense just for that
for that
chapter.
I can relate with that because
Yeah.
whenever I'm writing, like whether it is a poetry book or a non-fiction
Right.
till date, so I feel like chapter name should be something that readers can immediately understand what
Yes.
is going to be there.
Yes.
So that happened with this book
Right.
and this book too.
Yeah.
Like with the name of the song, the readers can grasp like according to this song, something is going to
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
around that
Right.
scene. So that is something. If I talk about the cover
Yeah.
of your book, so how did you come about with with this particular cover with just two elements like three elements: hand, a knife, and then that blood.
No, and there is this little bit of fingerprint there.
Oh, okay. I
So-
thought that was the impression of light. Yeah, I missed that.
So there is a little bit of the fingerprint there, but yeah. So the thing was that we went through a lot of covers for this book. Even for a murder in Dehradun, we went through a lot of covers, and then we came out with this on Instagram. It's on my handle also, where you see the covers that we've rejected. So that's
Yeah.
not just a PR post that we've made. Those were actually the covers which were under consideration, but for various reasons, something was not landing. Something was missing. Then also me and Manik Bhai, we had this thing that we want to keep the color theme the same, but that was also not landing in the middle. Then he came up with this.
Okay.
So the moment he came up with this, and I was like, my first reaction was that this is amazing. I'm jealous. Why did I not think of this? so I'm like, yeah, let's knock this off. And there is one reel that my wife has done where she's broken down uh, the psyche of the cover. Like
Okay.
the hand symbolizing the revenge and the red part showing blood. So there is a murder and everything. So she does, because she's also an artist, so she understands how to appreciate art and how to break it down, how to break down the elements. So yeah, that's how we came out with this kind of a cover. But yeah, it's something very unique.
Since you mentioned about Sakshi and
Yeah.
art, so what do you want to say about the illustrations she has painted? Like she
Yeah,
has made with hand
Yeah, she
in this
makes
book.
it. Yeah,
So what do you-
even in a murder in Dehradun.
I have in that also there are. So how
So-
do you feel about them? What do you think? Like how they add value to your work?
So one is, it's very risky to start working with your wife. You fight a lot. The second thing is that it actually helps give the readers an immersive experience. How it happened was because she used to draw these modern art things and she was very good at it. So when I wrote the script, I was like, why don't you do something like this? Because I made a rough sketch of how the mansion looks. It started with this. So I was like, why don't you make me a beautiful estate?
Aesthetic, yeah.
Everything of all the elements that are made. So my drawing was just rectangles. This is where the house is. This is where the apiary would be, and this is how the cow shed. This is the horse
Yeah,
stable.
I got it.
This is how the whole thing is.
How it will look.
But she then she actually gave it. Then when she did that, then I was like, okay, then can you make me the floor plans also? And that's when the irritation started. I'm not an architect, but I was like, you please do it for me. So and then I was like, you do give me character sketches also, but we'll do it like a caricaturish kind of a thing. So that's how we did it in a modern Dehradun. It was quite caricaturish, wherein
Yes.
we've inflated the one aspect of that character, and we've given like Shirin in a modern Dehradun. She has that long nose
Yeah.
because she's just like that. So we wanted to play on those
Play
things.
on those things. Like if I can say about this book,
This is much more human.
recently
Yeah.
read this. So seeing the illustrations. So when you are describing a character, like if I
Right.
talk about Eka,
Yeah.
Eka was there in her, I think, drawing room where there was
Yes.
a painting of Durga,
Durga ji,
Durga ji,
yes.
and how that was description there. She was like in the
Yes,
killing mode.
yes.
So that has exactly come up in that
Yes,
particular
in that.
illustration.
So this time we wanted to replicate. There we just wanted to give caricatures, and it was not exactly a representation of exactly what's happening in the book, right? We also left clues that which may be misleading in the caricatures. This time it was
Exactly.
an exact representation of how the characters are and what's
how
going
they look
on.
and where they are.
Yeah, and where they are,
at the location.
what's going on. So now she's doing it. She's due to do it for my next book also.
Oh,
But
nice,
this
lovely.
time we want to take it level up, and we want to do it like something with the modern art kind of a blend in it. But she's a better person to talk about it. So yeah,
If you can talk about your next book that you just mentioned, it
right.
is already ready in your hands.
Yeah.
So, would you like to talk about how it is different from all your books?
So how it's different is, again, it is from the perspective of the characters, but it is more to do with human decisions. I will not reveal
Okay.
the working title right now. I will not reveal anything. It does involve a death, a murder, amongst other things. But yes, so that's. But right now, my group of people are reading it. I
Nice,
haven't yet
lovely.
given it to the publishers on Manibai. So yeah,
Lovely. I
yeah,
noticed in your book like there are a lot of penal codes and all that stuff is used,
yes,
and you have
yes,
tried to show the shadowy world and what happens
yes,
behind the
yes,
scenes.
yes.
So, what kind of research this book involved, or you just watch some film and some
No,
series or something
so
like that?
all my books have extensive research.
Okay.
But even my spy thriller, so even in Lynchpin and Veil of Shadows, what I've done is that the names of the locations are all real.
Yes,
The names
exactly.
of spy agencies are real, how they work, even the designation. So the head of Roy's College is a secretary, right? So those little details, if it takes an X amount of time to go from Delhi to Lahore, it's the exact amount of time, right? If there is a street in Multan, so it's exactly like that in Veil of Shadows. So I have kept things because when I'm telling a story which is a fictional, the moment I start blending in facts with it, it becomes almost relatable.
Relatable,
You know,
true.
you feel that it's happening around you. So that's how I created the world of Lynchpin, Veil of Shadows. Here also in Twisted Tangle, I wanted to give out those IPCs and those things, and how
Yes.
after an arrest they take you to the magistrate's court. They have to take you there. But you just don't go to jail. Like how things happen,
This reminded
right?
me of that part, the luxury jail for the people, high profile
Yes,
and high spec people.
right.
So how did like I have never heard of it. How is that true? I just
It's an
wanted to
open
know.
secret. It does happen.
Okay.
It does happen. It's an open secret.
So that was something that took my attention again in your
Right.
book. I was like, how are they just living this kind of a life inside the jail,
So
like
it's not
behind the bars?
exactly. See, they have a. Everybody has a regimental life, right? That
Hmm.
they'll get that call for a tea in the morning, and then there is a lunch, and then they get time to walk around, and then there is again in the afternoon they're behind the cells, and in the evening they get time for dinner, and then they sleep. So that part is there. It's just that because of some resources you can get some TVs and all, which is kind of a, it's an acceptable thing
It
in
felt
in
like they
in,
are living
in
a luxurious life in the jail. So that
so
was amazing. Like you have put in a lot of research in that.
yes,
So if I say when research comes in play,
right.
so how do you feel? Like do you feel a little jittery in that case? Like if I miss something, so how much time does it take
No, it
actually?
takes time, but I enjoy it. I enjoy finding about things. I enjoy trying to get into the details of things and then present it as accurately as possible. Like even in the Tangled part, when you notice that how when the person is traveling internationally, right? And there are names of streets or the distance between two
Yeah.
places. You Google it, it will be exactly the same.
Actually, reading that, I was like, it felt like, how have you? Like, it will take me 14 hours, but I believe I can beat the clock, and
Yeah.
he reached in 12 hours.
Yes.
So that was something believable. Like that
Right.
can be done. Like this
Right.
much this time can be
Right.
easily cut. So talking about like how do you balance between mystery by like giving enough clues and
Yeah.
not letting to reveal too soon?
That is something, I don't know. I mean, that comes with a lot of debate. We try to put it here. Then is it making sense? How the character? So once they have that information, how they will behave, right? And if they don't have that information, how they will behave, and should they be getting that information at this point of time? Like, have they worked enough that they should now logically be having this information, or if they're not getting this information, then what is it that they're getting? So it kind of becomes a mathematical stuff, right? Like you're deriving one step after the other. So at this point, if it starts making sense to the reader that they should be, if the reader has concluded it, the character should conclude it. That's how I feel. Don't take the reader's time for a ride.
Actually, I am just going back to that illustration part. is it cost effective to involve your wife in making illustrations for
I'm
a
not
book?
sharing my royalties with her, so it is cost effective.
Okay, so it's like not paying anything and
Yes,
getting it for free,
yes,
because I can understand like how costly it is to have illustration.
yes,
So yeah, between writing a family log drama in
yeah,
murder mystery and writing this twisted tangle and trap,
yeah.
which one was more challenging for you?
Oh, so see, a murder in Dehradun involved creating a world. There is a large estate. So then they need to have amenities and how that family is functioning and their family dynamics. So that was a very different challenge. That was a very different dynamics or different playing field. Here it's an open world scenario, right? People are coming, people are going. Everybody has access to everything. It's not a family dynamics. It's a national international dynamics
Yeah,
also, right?
that is involved.
So you start. Both have different processes. Both
Right.
are different. There, the legality side of it was not so much. It was more of to
Exactly.
do with the human psyche. Here, everything came into play. It was human psyche plus the legal dynamics
When
plus
it's national and international both come together, it again becomes a
yes,
little tricky and a
yeah.
challenging
It
part.
does. Everything then starts coming into play, and you also need to understand that the people who are reading also need to start have that relatability factor also. So you guys just everything then starts coming into play.
This was quite an engaging
Thank
discussion,
you.
and I just love talking to you about all the books.
Yeah.
I recently, like, I just finished it at 3 a.m. last, like today
Right.
itself, 3 a.m., because I just wanted to talk about this particular book. So I have a quick game for you. It's a
All right.
rapid fire, but
All right.
there will be a why involved in that.
Okay.
So it goes like this. This is I just asked locked room, and so first one is locked room mystery or open chase thriller, and why?
Uh, so, when you say open chase thrillers, you mean something like Lynchpin or Veil of Shadows. So, I like spy thrillers, but then again, I think the entire India-Pakistan aspect has been played out so much that unless there is a new dynamics to it, I don't know how I can write a new one or create something new. Uh, there was a coup in Myanmar that happened, which I've used in Veil of Shadows. Murder mysteries, yes, they are more difficult to write because it's not just about creating the urgency around a bomb blast or a terrorist activity. It is more to do with human psyche and how people are going to behave. So, and every human is different. So taking that aspect, it's more challenging to write a murder mystery. So yeah, and I like those challenges.
So what will you choose out of the two?
Presently, murder mysteries, I would say.
Okay. Detective with flaws or detective with brilliance? Which would you choose?
A detective with brilliant flaws.
Lovely.
Motive always remains that, see, my idea is to showcase grey characters, right?
Yeah, I have seen them a lot
Yeah.
in this book.
So the idea is to showcase grey characters. I think they become more relatable. The moment the characters are grey, they become more relatable. So I think a detective with flaws makes more sense. A genius detective, then you expect everything. They should know all the answers. That becomes a bit boring.
So what about confessions or clues? Which one would you choose?
Clues.
Why?
They're harder to plant. It's harder to deceive your reader. So it's more challenging. Confession is the easier part, right? It's the more heartbreaking part.
When it comes about storytelling, how do you choose? Like first person approach or third person approach?
I have done both now. I have done both.
Yeah.
First person approach is extremely difficult. It is like Twisted Tangled and the current one which I've just finished. It is extremely difficult to write from a perspective of that character, especially when the narrative is shifting.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
this
that becomes third person is relatively much easier because then you are in control of the entire world.
word,
So
right?
you can kind of shift the perspectives and you can get characters and you can do this. Here is just this one person observing their limited surroundings and then you have to ensure first person becomes more difficult, definitely.
Okay. Sympathetic villain or stone cold killer?
Definitely Stone Cold Killer.
Why?
So my wife has been egging me, to write serial killers.
Okay.
Yeah, and she really loves them, but I haven't yet been able to find a justification to get around a serial killer which does not have your cliche traumatic past or
Yeah.
everything that has been done and dusted. So I have been challenging her that you come up with a reason. that, you know,
How it will be like,
you give me a unique reason.
in case of serial killer
Yeah,
books or maybe movies,
yeah.
all look alike. Like
They all look alike.
I
They
don't
all
feel
have that
like
traumatic past. I don't want to do any of that.
because recently or sometime back I asked to someone, I read somebody's book. I was just beta reading that book.
Right.
So I told that person like this looks alike. So she just gave me the justification. All serial killings are like this only. So
But
I was
that's
like,
the boring part. Then,
yeah,
then
that is something
where is
like
your
I
creativity?
have read something like
Yeah.
that already. So that comes with it.
Yeah. When you pick up the book, at least my aspiration is that when you pick up my book, you should know that you're going to get a unique story. So I'm not going to attempt a serial killer unless I know I'm
Something
gonna be
unique.
able, yeah, I'm giving you something which you're reading for the first time.
Okay, red herrings or plot twist?
Oh. See, red herrings, and I'll tell you why not plot twist. A plot twist, if it is justified, if I'm giving some information, new information on page 200, and that is leading to a plot twist, then I'm making a Mickey out of everybody, right? I could have given if that information could very well have come out on earlier pages, page one or whatever on earlier pages. So now just because I'm holding on to that information till up to page 200, and now I'm saying, but oh, this character was also called this and was living in some other state, and they had this name also, and so and now this, now the story just, you feel that it's a plot twist. It's not a plot twist. Plot twist is which you kind of see coming and you don't see coming. It's like it is justified,
Justified, right?
right? So if you have the guts, then you drop the hints from day one, and then you get in the plot twist. So that plot twist is justified. That is only possible through red herrings.
Okay, this was just up for like rapid fire.
Yeah.
I just got one question. I have read your book. I know how the murder happened. I just want to ask, whether you want to tell our audience why you have chosen that knife.
So more out of the backstabbing psyche of the human. It may or may not be the murder weapon. It may or may not have actually. It's not a literal representation. It's more of a, how do you say?
Revenge and backstabbing,
Yeah, a
basically.
metaphorical representation of backstabbing, of murder, of how you believe.
Somebody backstab
Yeah,
a person
yeah.
even after like having a good
Right,
relation
yeah.
or something like that. So we have come to the end of this discussion. Before we wrap up, I would like you to tell your experience of being on this podcast show.
So thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your lovely questions. Thank you so much for reaching out. And yeah, it was a great session. So thank you, Tanvi.
So guys, if you want to see more such discussions with author, readers and bloggers, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Prigged Insight. Stay tuned for the next episode.